Little Vincent Price is here to say hello. I'm wearing my horror jean jacket today because things are about to get serious. I am doing a supposedly impossible horror quiz, so we shall see how hard it really is. In the past with my quiz videos, it kind of just depends if I'm good at it, if I'm bad, I don't know. It just depends on the questions. So this one is from WhatCulture.com. And I literally just Googled hardest horror quizzes or impossible horror quizzes, something to that effect. So this one is called the Impossible Horror Movie Quiz. Name the film from just one line. Now that does sound pretty hard. I really don't know how I'm going to do with this one. If I do really, really poorly, I think I'm going to try to do another quiz to try to redeem myself. So hopefully I'll do okay on this first one. Or if this one is just too short, I don't know how many questions there are in this quiz. So I'm just going to see how long this one is. And if we've got a little bit more time, I'll go ahead and do another one that is shorter, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in. So I want you all to follow along while I'm doing this quiz. I'm going to link it in the description of this video if you want to do it before I do it or do it as I'm doing it to see, how many you get right. But I'm just going to go ahead and start. Okay, so the first quote that I have to identify the movie from this quote is, "You pissed on the ancestral tree." So I actually do know this one without looking at the options. So I am starting out pretty good, but the options are Midsommar, The Village, The Wicker Man 1973, or The Wicker Man 2006. And I know that this quote is from Midsommar. Oh, and I don't know if it tells you you're right or wrong till the end, or it just goes to the second one if you get it right. That's weird. Okay, well, I'm assuming I got that right.
You pissed on the ancestral tree.
The tree said
Yes.
So the second quote is, "Danny isn't here, Mrs. Torrance." That seems pretty obvious too. The options are Hide and Seek, The Sixth Sense, Dr. Sleep, or The Shining. Obviously, Danny is from The Shining, and I haven't seen Dr. Sleep, but I don't think that Mrs. Torrance is in that one, so I'm pretty positive it's The Shining. Okay, and we still aren't sure if that was right. I think it was.
Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
It went to the next one, so, okay. 3 is Charlie, you're all right now. You are Paimon, one of the 8 kings of hell. The options are Insidious Chapter 2, Hereditary, The Conjuring, or The Omen. Okay, obviously this is Hereditary, right?
Charlie, you're all right now. You are Paimon, one of the 8 kings of hell.
Okay, this next one I'm not sure of. There is a picture of Pennywise on here, but the quote is, "My name's Hedwig, I have red socks, he's on the move." And the options are Glass, It, Split, or It Chapter 2. I feel like it's not from either of the It's, so either Glass or Split? I haven't seen either of those, so I'm just gonna go on a limb and say Split.
My name's Hedwig. I have red socks. He's on the move.
I'm really mad that they're not having, right or wrong on here.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
So I really don't know if that was right or not. Number 5 is Now You're in the Sunken Place. Okay. I'm very angry that this was labeled the most impossible horror quiz, because this is so easy. Options are You Should Have Left Us, The Cabin in the Woods, or Get Out. I know it's Get Out.
Now you're in the sunken place.
Okay, should I even keep going with this quiz? I didn't vet this because I thought I had to go through the whole thing in order to get from question to question, and I wanted to do this blind, but as far as most impossible horror quizzes, this is anything but. So number 6 is Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole. Options are It Chapter 2, The Evil Dead, or Army of Darkness. So I know the Losers Club is from It, and I haven't actually seen 2. I've only seen part 1, but it sounds like it could be from either one of those. So I guess I'm just going to have to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say It Chapter 2. Again, we don't know if that was right or not.
Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole!
Okay. Next one is, why the hell don't you guys just freeze him? Options are Friday the 13th, Alien, Predator, The Shining. It's not The Shining. It's not Friday the 13th. I don't remember them saying that in Alien, and I've only seen Predator once, and I don't really remember it that well. So I'm gonna say Predator?
How come you guys don't freeze her?
Okay, the next one is another one that's pretty obvious, and that is, I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is. Options are A Quiet Place, Predator, The Thing, or Split, and I know it's The Thing.
I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Next is, would you like some bourbon in that, Father? So the options are The Exorcist, Signs, The Nun, or Deliver Us from Evil. I'm really sorry if you can hear the birds. They are really loud. I will try to edit that out as best I can. But, okay, I don't actually know. I'm just gonna guess The Exorcist with this one, but I don't actually remember that.
Would you like some brandy in that, Father?
Well, the doctors say I shouldn't. But thank God, my will is weak.
Next is Swing Away, Meryl. Signs, Insidious, Deadball, or Return of the Living Dead. I don't remember anyone named Meryl in Return of the Living Dead. I haven't seen Signs or Deadball, and it's been a very, very long time since I saw Insidious, so I don't remember if there's someone named Meryl in Insidious either. I'm gonna guess Deadball? Sure.
Swing away, Meryl. Meryl. Swing away.
Okay, so I scored 70%, but it didn't tell me which ones I got right or wrong. Did I completely miss that on here? Oh, okay. Now it has answers. Cool. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6 was the first one I got wrong. And it was chapter 1, the Welcome to the Losers Club asshole. So got that one wrong. The next one I got wrong as well. Why the hell don't you guys just freeze him was from Alien. 8 and 9 I got right. 10 I got wrong. It was actually from Signs. Okay, haven't seen that. And then that's it. So, I'm gonna say thumbs down on the functionality of this quiz. WhatCulture, if you're watching this, please fix that if you can. It would be really nice to know if you got the question right or wrong as you're answering them. But that was shorter than I thought, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to this Buzzfeed quiz, which is pretty reliable. I've done those before on here, and they've turned out pretty well, so yeah, we're gonna go over to, this quiz is called, Even as someone who's seen just about every horror film, this is the hardest scary movie quiz you'll ever take. Okay, and I think this one has more behind the scenes type questions, so the first one is, what was the first horror movie to win an Oscar for Best Makeup? Okay, so it actually won the Oscar. Options are An American Werewolf in London, Day of the Dead, The Fly, or Hellraiser. Now, Day of the Dead is the oldest of those movies. It's from the 70s, I believe. Well, is it? Or is Dawn of the Dead the last one from the 70s? I actually don't remember. So I'm gonna go, I don't think it's Hellraiser. And The Fly and American Werewolf in London had really, really good makeup. So I think I'm gonna go with An American Werewolf in London just because that werewolf transformation scene is so well known. So we're gonna go American Werewolf in London. That was right. See, this is how you do the quiz. You have the answer pop up as you click and tell you if you're right or wrong. So thank you, BuzzFeed, for having that. Okay, next question is, in which artist won the Oscar for Best Makeup for the previous film? Okay, Tom Savini, V. Neal, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Rob Bottin, or Rick Baker. So I'm only familiar with Rick Baker and Tom Savini, and I don't think Tom Savini did the makeup for American Werewolf in London, I don't think. I just don't know the other two, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Rick Baker. That was right. Cool, okay. Kind of a wild guess there, but the picture they have of him winning this Oscar is really funny. The face he's making is really funny. I guess he's probably trying to look like a werewolf there, but okay, the next one is, Ed Gein inspired 3 notable horror movie villains. Select the one he did not inspire. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, Michael Myers from Halloween, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Norman Bates from Psycho. And I am pretty positive Michael was the one who was not inspired by him. And that was right. I love how these questions are self-referential to other ones in the quiz, because the next one says, speaking of Psycho, what material was used to create the blood in the now infamous shower scene? Cherry syrup, cornstarch, corn syrup, and red food coloring, Hershey's chocolate syrup, or Ovaltine and corn syrup. Now, I am remembering that there's a scene from a Looney Tunes cartoon, I believe it is, where Bugs is in the shower and he's kind of recreating that scene. And in that clip, he's using Hershey's chocolate syrup to pour down the drain. So I'm pretty sure that's the answer. And that was right. Under the little correct answer thing, it says, according to Alfred Hitchcock, the Hershey's chocolate syrup was the only thing that looked like blood in black and white. So there you go. Okay, next one is, which 2000s horror movie was based on an abandoned X-Files episode? Saw, Final Destination, Cloverfield, or 30 Days of Night? I don't know this one off the top of my head, but I'm trying to think which one sounds like it would be an X-Files episode. I'm gonna eliminate 30 Days of Night, and I don't think it's Cloverfield. I'm gonna go with Final Destination. That one was right too, another good guess. Okay, so next question. How many films are within the Conjuring universe? 8, 9, 7, or 6? Okay, I'm gonna have to try to do this in my head, and I am probably gonna get it wrong, but all right, so we've got Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, La Llorona's in the Conjuring universe, right? I'm pretty sure. Are there any more? I can't think of any more. I think I'm gonna go with 7. I think. Oh, I was wrong. It's 8. Missing one, and I'm wondering which one it is. I'll have to look that up later. But next is, what other 90s horror star had auditioned for the part of Stu in Scream? Devon Sawa, Skeet Ulrich, Ryan Phillippe, or Freddie Prinze Jr.? I'm going to eliminate Skeet, I guess. Well, I don't know. Is this going to be a trick question? Because maybe Skeet auditioned for both Stu and Billy, but I'm kind of just leaning toward Devon Sawa. I feel like I may have heard that somewhere, although I could be making it up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Devon Sawa. Nope. It was Freddie Prinze Jr. actually. That would have been pretty weird if he were Stu. It totally makes sense that he would be auditioning for that role though. Okay, next is, what is the highest grossing horror film of all time up until 2021? So I actually just looked this up, and I wonder how they're counting inflation, or depending on like box office, international or domestic. We'll see. I think I have a guess based on these options, but Paranormal Activity, The Sixth Sense, It 2017, or The Exorcist. And I'm pretty sure if you're like maybe not including inflation, it's It. So I'm going to go with It. And that is right. Okay, next, what other Scream Queen had begged her mother to let her audition for The Exorcist? And I actually do know this one because I think it was on an episode of Eli Roth's History of Horror show where this person talked about this specifically. But the options are Betsy Palmer, Heather Langenkamp, Jamie Lee Curtis, or Jenny Agutter. Not sure who that is, but I do remember from that episode of History of Horror that it was Jamie Lee Curtis, and that is correct. And under the correct answer, it says, Janet Leigh didn't want Jamie to audition for the role in fear of what it would do to her career. But after screening the film at Jamie's birthday party, they both realized the mistake they had made. So I think that it was maybe her 15th birthday, if I'm remembering correctly, which is so funny to have like a screening of The Exorcist at a 15-year-old's birthday party. But I just thought that that was really interesting. And lastly, what iconic monster has Doug Jones not played? The Ice Cream Man from Legion, the first cave dweller from The Descent, the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, or Lady Sapre? I'm probably saying that wrong, from Crimson Peak. So I do know that he was playing the ghosts in Crimson Peak, so I don't think it's that one. He was definitely the Pale Man in Pan's Labyrinth. So the Ice Cream Man from Legion, is that right? I mean, I know the Ice Cream Man, the movie, and I know he definitely wasn't the Ice Cream Man in that, but I also think the first cave dweller in The Descent is too little. Like, Doug Jones is such a tall guy, and he's so skinny, and they're like pretty muscly, and I mean, they're not like crazy tall from what I remember. So I'm stuck between those two, but I guess I'm gonna go with the first cave dweller. Oh, yes, I was right. Okay, cool. I'll have to look that up. Him as the Ice Cream Man. I don't know what that is, but all right. So this one, I got 8 out of 10 right. So a little bit better than the last one. And I do think that that quiz was a little bit more enjoyable overall. So I definitely don't think either of these quizzes was impossible. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper and see if there are ones I can find that are actually like really hard. Because some of these questions, it's like, come on, really? Is this really impossible? Or I feel like you could even be a pretty casual fan and guess some of these answers, but that's just my 2 cents. Maybe it's on me for not looking deeper and trying to find quizzes that I would consider impossible, although I guess I could just try to write my own quiz. Maybe I'll do that. So that's going to be it for today, everybody. I'm sorry that first quiz was a little bit weird, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. If you did like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There is one last thing I wanted to bring up, and this is something I'm trying to talk about in all of my videos until the deadline for voting, which is voting for Horror YouTuber of the Month for the month of March. And the deadline is the 31st, so it's fastly approaching. Please go and vote on that if you haven't. So the video that you vote who you would like to win Horror YouTuber of the Month for the month of March is linked in this video. You'll go down there, you'll click on that link, and in the comments of that video, you will vote for who you think should win. And if you aren't familiar with the candidates, there is a description for all of them in that video. So go ahead and watch that and check them out, see what channels are up. There are 4 amazing creators, and check out their channels if you aren't familiar with all of them, and then cast your vote in the comments of that video. And I just want as many people to see it as possible, so if you wouldn't mind sharing that as well, that would be amazing. Just to get more eyes on it, get more people voting, and checking out these creators, because one of the requirements in order to be nominated for Horror YouTuber of the Month is that you have to have less than 1,000 subscribers. So all of these creators are relatively small, but they're still doing amazing work, and I just think that they need more eyes on their channels. So everyone, please go check out that video, vote if you haven't, and share it if you would like to. All right, I think that that's gonna do it for today, everyone. I would like your all's input on videos you want to see in the future. I'm always looking for new stuff to do, so if there's something that maybe you've seen another creator do that you really like, or previous videos that I've done before that you think, oh, I would love for her to do something like that again, please let me know. I'm always looking for input, so I would just really love to hear from all of my subscribers and just see, like, what are you guys into? What do you want to see from me? So please let me know that in the comments as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today, everybody. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk horror next time.